So this is a final update before I leave. I want to show what the difference in just 10 days after we planted all of these things. I brought small seedlings here. My cucumbers have done fantastically well. They've adapted, even though they got slightly singed by the sun, but they're growing really well. Started to climb. They're developing wonderfully and growing faster than I can imagine. The peppers have got really strong, and so did tomatoes. My beans have all sprouted. We put a border of beans here to provide some natural nitrogen for the plants. And tomatoes are doing fantastic. They've already gone into bloom and they're growing strong, very nice strong stalks. Doing really well. Now in this bed, more tomatoes and peppers. These are all cherry tomatoes, so they're doing fantastic. And the beans also growing around the edge. And the peppers have started forming blooms. They're going to be really, really nice. This bed Jenny has some really strong big tomatoes, beefy. And then lots and lots of potatoes. There are different potatoes, fingerling and Yukon Gold and rose potatoes. But most of them have gone up, and in between garlic they're doing really well. And here we have another pepper, already has a bud, and more tomatoes and eggplants. Here we have some sorrel and more strawberries and beans and more tomatoes. And now we're coming up on more garlic. It's really picked up. In this bed we have some radishes that finally woke up. This poor strawberry plant was really beat up and really was not doing well, but it's finally recovering. And the tomatoes are fantastic. They're growing so fast. Need to be caged for soon. A couple of eggplants and black corn that Jenny planted. And of course her grapes and blackberries or raspberry. Now in this bed, Jenny has a lot of lettuces, different varieties, some cabbages in the back, and some beans in between rows. So it's actually a very convenient way to alternate them. She's gonna have lots of beans here. And unfortunately my watermelon have died, so that's sad. But this pepper is doing fantastic. I don't know if you can see. There we go. No, watermelon is still there. I thought it was dead. There we go. It's still there. Now back to the entrance of the garden. There's the climbing rose that's already set up the buds. It's going to be beautiful once they all open up. She's going to have a lot of raspberries. It all has gone into bloom. And there is the first clematis. It's absolutely gorgeous. Of course, peonies. Unfortunately, these have not opened up yet, so it looks like I'm gonna miss them. But this is the white peony, and and the purple one. And on this side, she's got a beautiful iris getting ready to open. And more gorgeous peonies. Stunning colors. Absolutely stunning, gorgeous. Purple and white next to each other. It's a wonderful contrast. More raspberry, all ready to bloom. It's gonna have a lot of raspberry. More peonies and more raspberry. And here's one of my favorites. This iris is absolutely stunning. Here's some more lily of the valley that I love so much. I love this little place. And then transitioning over here, the rhododendron has gone into bloom, and oh my gosh, what a beauty. Transitioning to the side garden, right outside she has beautiful pawpaw that's blooming. Hopefully this year they will get to try some fruit. And then going outside, back to the garden. More grapes. Everything is so green. It's going out of control, and a beautiful, beautiful iris just opened up. And there is another one. A whole bunch of them are planning to bloom. Her lettuce is growing out of control. There's so much of it. Looks like her grapes finally woke up and doing really well. They were just buds when I came in. And more cabbages and more salads. We've really been enjoying them. And one thing that has really changed, and that's just azalea that just absolutely burst into flowering, and it's stunning. It's one of my favorites here. So gorgeous. And transitioning here. This is the blueberry that Rochelle had sent, and it's got into some nice flowers, so it's going to produce my grapes and my blueberry. We put a little bit of acidifier in it, and it has lots and lots of blueberries that formed. Hopefully they will get to try some. I also moved one of my mulberries here, and it's recovering and it's growing nicely. Now back at the backyard. This is the mountain with the Japanese maple and Peter's fishes, koi fish. And more beautiful iris, this stunning, stunning color. Peter set up everything for the barbecue. So the area is all set up. It really is a beautiful place to relax here. It's very peaceful. Surrounded by all of the orchard trees. This really is a fantastic place. I miss it so much every time I leave. And the view of the house from this point. Really cannot ask for more than this. Oh, the small part is where I usually stay. That's the addition, the guest house. And I have my own little back patio there. Also there is a rhododendron growing and blooming. Stunning. And more koi fishes. They're also hungry again. They seem to be always hungry. Waiting for food. Well, thank you for joining me. Until next time.